Right. Are we here? Hello, I'm Professor Robin Barger from the Digital and Creative Industry Collaboration at University of Salford, and we're here at the Digital City Expo in Manchester. And I have the great pleasure to speak with Alan Cross, who's the European Space Agency Business Applications Project Manager. So I'm going to basically turn it over to Alan and ask, European Space Agency, business, could you tell us what the recipe is for that?
Sure thing. The European Space Agency is the European equivalent of NASA. We've been around since 1975, and of course we build the International Space Station and send projects and missions to Mars and have astronauts and whatnot. But my role is to help businesses on Earth use the data that is being generated, not just from European Space Agency infrastructure, but from all the infrastructure that we have in space. The space around our planet bristles with beacons, sensors and transceivers. So the question is, how do we use it on Earth? Because the data exists.
So that's very interesting. And you are specifically regionally positioned in the Northwest?
I'm Northwest England and North Wales.
Right.
So Aberystwyth to the border of Scotland.
All right. And I understand that there's a digital revolution happening in the Northwest, but has it touched your particular industry yet?
It's a tricky one. So in the UK, space is worth about £16 billion, billion with a B, right? Which is about 5% of the global space industry.
So quite a significant share, actually.
It is quite significant, and it's a large industry. And actually for the UK, about 2/3, actually globally as well, about 2/3 of that industry is data. Is using the data that's already been generated. The building of the rockets and whatnot is like 10%.
Right.
2/3 is the use of data. So in the Northwest, we've got a huge digital capacity. In Liverpool, in Manchester, in South Lancashire, where I'm based at Daresbury, is one of the country's most powerful supercomputers.
Right.
And yet, the Northwest generates less than 0.5% of the UK space economy.
So that's a big opportunity for you.
It's a huge opportunity.
But it is characteristic of the fits and starts of digital taking hold in different parts of the sector, right? So it's not Twitter. You're not talking about tweet data here. You're talking about a much more sophisticated kind of data. Maybe you could give us some idea of the types of application spaces that open up,
Absolutely.
the types of
So from when you wake up in the morning to when you arrive to your place at work, you normally interact with about 25 individual spacecraft. Okay?
No kidding.
Seriously.
And none of them can get me out of the traffic.
We're working on it, so give it 2 years. So that will include the likes of your positioning satellites, which are basically just big atomic clocks. They send out a really, really accurate timing signal, and your device triangulates its position. Right?
Yeah.
It might be about the fact that you're watching broadcast media, which has sent it into your home, or the fact that the national grid is still working, and that's timed very accurately with these accurate timing positions. So think of Uber. Uber's a space company.
Okay, I hadn't thought of it, but I use it all the time.
Without the positioning technology from space, Uber has no business model. Because it can't find out where you are, where your drivers are, it can't navigate the routes, whatnot. I would point out that at the moment, your GNSS, your GPS signal, is about 7-meter accuracy. In the next year or two, it will be down below 1 meter, maybe as low as 20 centimeters.
So that's approaching military grade accuracy, is it not?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's actually slightly higher than military grade at the moment.
That's interesting.
There will be a military grade beyond that as well, but for public use, it will be very accurate. And so we're funding, we're supporting programs that are, businesses that are sports events, photography companies, who are taking photographs of marathon runners. Their business is driven by the fact they've got to get those photographs online as quickly as possible. You can't rely on the mobile phone network. You can't go into your local coffee shop and use their Wi-Fi. So we're helping them integrate dedicated satellite communications.
Right.
There's a huge array.
So I guess the question is, how does a business begin to think about how it might connect? And is it only for mega corporations, or is it also for SMEs and other kinds of companies?
It's for everyone. We have loan operators. We have sole traders engaging with this space. What you touched on something really important there, and how does a company go, hey, I'm a space company,
Right.
or hey, I want to do space?
How do they recognize that that's in their gift?
Well, very normally they don't.
Yes.
They don't, and so that's actually why the Business Applications Ambassador Program, and just 18 months ago, was made regional. We had a national ambassador before that who did very well, but actually that penetration into the regions was really important. And so there's 5 of us regional ambassadors dotted around, and we're going knocking on doors, speaking at events like this, trying to, eulogize, really, talk about space and help people understand. I've just given a keynote presentation before, so people can understand, but it takes a lot of hard work. And what you have to do is talk to them, leave them alone for a few months, let the ideas percolate,
Yep.
then come back to them.
So we have a similar experience. You can show somebody something really interesting, and they can say, oh yeah, that's cool, but it's still out there. It's not, it doesn't sit with them yet.
What's that got to do with me?
Right,
it happened before when I came along for this interview. I mentioned space, and someone presumed I meant office space, right? But this is not. But this happens all the time because, and I think especially, I hate to bang the drum. I love to bang the drum. I won't lie. Especially in the Northwest, you know, the rest of the country is already doing massive digital things with data from space. Currently, Manchester's being outperformed by Exeter. By Leicester.
So you're really going to get some people's backs up with that, right?
But that's what you need,
the truth.
Right? That's
the
truth.
Well, as you might have noticed, I'm also not originally from the Northwest, actually from Chicago.
Okay.
But it is the case coming here, I see a huge amount of digital opportunity, a huge amount of commitment. People are really excited, and this is a place, of all places in the UK, where people roll up their sleeves and get things
Absolutely.
done. So it seems to me you must be pushing on an open door at some point.
Very much. Oh, very much. So we've just found out, I won't go into too much detail, a major aerospace company, one of the top in the world, is locating their space intelligence team here in Greater Manchester.
Fabulous.
Which is a wonderful thing, and that is about the use of data and supporting missions in space. Right. So that's the other way around from the way we normally look.
Yeah. But it sounds to me like you're just helping Manchester reach that tipping point. And it's like the rest of the Manchester growth, the explosion of growth, is some kind of tipping point here, and you're just pushing on it and going to help it out, ease it over.
That's exactly right, and something that's happened, I've been in post for 18 months, something that's happened just this year, since January, is people approaching me. People going, oh, I've been told to get in touch with you, we're doing this thing. It's happened twice today, here.
Fabulous.
Which in 10 years hasn't happened.
Right.
So the door is now very much open, so but I'll keep pushing.
So and the other thing I would guess is that maybe the people inside these industries who you need to talk to are not necessarily the IT people. It's not necessarily about the technology. It might not even be a technology company.
No, it's about the people who are looking to solve a customer problem. And that's what matters.
That's great.
You know, the guys with the sports photography company, they weren't thinking about space until we got chatting. I said, "How are you getting your data out?" They went, "Oh, don't get us started on that." And I explained to them about satellite communications, and now they're going for funding.
Right. So I guess it's an awakening of their being conscious that it's not just a telecom that provides this data. It's not just Google that provides this data. Thinking about it as something that they might have many different ways. They could have a bespoke relationship with a particular kind of data.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And in fact, you may find that your competition is doing the same thing, but not with space data. Because there's, you know, and very often the space data is integrated. If you're looking at a communications solution, for example, maybe the mobile phone, maybe it's 5G, but then maybe you need that resilience built in just in case. So you have the SATCOMs built in, so you can have a whole range. But it's about not speaking to the tech people is important, although the tech people are also important. I was talking to someone who said that all farmers in the future will have to be experts in Earth observation data. And I said, don't talk nonsense. I said, I'm not an expert in satellite navigation. Your taxi driver isn't, but they use it. All the farmer wants to do is stand in a field and go, okay, Google, or Alexa, or whoever it might be, what do I grow in this field? All that happens in the background, and the phone says peas.
Yes.
They want the answer.
Yeah.
They want the solution. How the technology works, it's just what happens in the background. So it's got to be a market
And
pull.
that's the business opportunity then,
Absolutely.
is actually providing those layers and providing the right positioning of it.
Correct.
That's great. So it's very exciting. Is there anything you want to close by saying how people should reach you or where they can find you?
Absolutely. So I'm your friendly neighbourhood ambassador. We've got them all over the country, so do please get in touch. We're on Twitter. if you're in the northwest of England,
Whoops. Are we back? All right, go ahead.
we've lost in the northwest of England. There is an event on the end of March, on the 31st of March, at Daresbury, where I'm based, which is called Satellites 101, in which businesses can. It's a free day-long event in which businesses can learn about satellite communication, imagery, navigation, the funding that's available, and examples of how the businesses have used it. So we're here to help. So
And that's
please
coming,
use us.
That's coming real soon. So that's great. We'll post that information.
Thank you.
Also, we'll give you the video we're making here for you.
Lovely.
So this is going to sign off, but I don't. Okay, we're back. This is Professor Barger, and we've been listening to Alan Cross from the ESA Business Applications Ambassador for the Northwest, and we're signing off from the Digital City Expo, University of Salford. Thanks very much.